SMCI just shipped 8% in a single session, and with nearly 18% of the float sold short, the pressure is building fast. If this breakout sticks, this isn't just a rally, it's a trap snapping shut on the bears. So in this video, we're diving straight into the chart, to the key resistance levels, momentum signals, and what needs to happen above $35 to trigger a short squeeze. Then we'll break down the options flow to say where the big money is positioning and whether calls are stacking up for a breakout. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. And by the way, this move didn't surprise us. For the past several weeks, we've been preparing for this exact setup. In our previous SMCI updates, we highlighted the compression, the reclaim attempts, and the conditions building for a breakout. If you were following our Trend Algo Pro signals, you'd already be up over 9% in just this week. This is exactly why we focus on structure and the data. So if you want real-time breakdowns and algorithm-backed setups like this before they explode, make sure you subscribe to our Patreon membership, 7-day free trial, and the link is in the description. So here we are, traders, on this 5-minute chart of SMCI, and looking at a Trend Algorithm Pro, it has detected that the stock is now an extreme buy. Ever since this indicator turned green, we're up approximately pretty good percentage points, around 6% from the indication from yesterday. So we initiated a call option on SMCI, and we are well in the money. So this overall algorithm proprietary has helped us really to assess the market risk, know when the overall trend changes, and it's all defined based on trend structure and price analysis. So I highly recommend the Patreon membership for all of you guys here. Now, if we look at SMCI, we did see that gap up, right? And in my last video, we covered that during this momentum, there was an increase here on the overall MACD. This line cross right here, this kind of showed that there was strength before the big momentum move happened. So around this date here, which was before the big move towards the upside of 8% here on the day. Now, what I really want to know and really kind of delve into here is that if we kind of zoom out maybe towards a 30-minute time frame, we are above this swing high anchored VWAP here that we formed, the $34 high that was formed on February 10th of this year. We are finally above it, and look at that, indications of buy. So a lot of opportunities to get into this name, and now that we are above it, I see the stock going towards the highs. So my first price target would be towards $34, right? So I'd hold this name aggressively, and then obviously towards our full level that we said on our last video, towards $37 here. So that would imply further upside of around 12%. Obviously, this name will probably see a decrement in its overall, extensiveness. So we may not see it, go like this, right? So it's not going to go directly like that exponentially towards that price, right? So eventually we'll see maybe a higher high, higher low formation, maybe consolidate here over time, right? Forming that bull flag, and then obviously go towards this level, first profit target, kind of sell off a little bit, find support, and then again rally towards that high, right? So this would be known as a bull flag here in case we get this scenario. Here we have this, here, and here. This would be a consolidation through time. Doesn't mean that the stock is bearish at all. Do not short when this pattern occurs, as it shows that there is some distribution on the short term though, but the trend will continue. And honestly, the best way to measure it is just getting the pull. So this momentum here, you measure the pull, and then from the breakout, you measure that, towards the upside. That's the best way to measure the extensive move here. But really assessing here, I am really bullish because we are just well above this swing high anchored VWAP. And then as well, if you look at the swing low that we formed here on this exact date here of February 26th, we are above it here, and we'll label this as green because this is where the buyers really initiated. If we see here the bottom parts of the candle wicks, we see a lower wick here, lower wicks, showing that the buyers were fully present within this name. And also on this extreme candle here, this one, now, especially this candle really showed me and the algorithm, it detected this, that the buyers were looking to become more aggressive. They're buying this name at a discount, especially after, the earnings, which were, quite phenomenal. I've covered that before in the overall videos, but I'm not going to do so in this video. And now that we are above it, it just gives me more confidence, right? And knowing that these levels held yesterday, exactly here, just gives me even more confidence in the upside here of SMCI. If you look as well, now go back towards a 5-minute where we initiate our analysis, the overall stock should be continued with extensive momentum as the MACD as well formed another crossover right here with buying volume increasing over time, which is exactly what we want. If you guys can see here on my screen like this, been increasing over time, which is exactly what we want. And I do see obviously that extensive upside. Now, looking towards the grander scheme of things, let's say towards a daily chart of SMCI, like I said, if we take off these important indicators, kind of like this, now if we move towards the daily chart, like I said, look at the grand scheme of things on the overall longer term time frame, we are forming, this accumulation zone where buyers are coming in. So we are forming this overall kind of inverted flag. This kind of shows us that after the stage one here decline, that's usually within technical markets. So this is stage one, and this is known as the decline part of the trend. We are now going towards stage two, which is the overall accumulation here, right? And during this phase, buyers start to become more aggressive. Sellers start to back off from the name. They don't sell as aggressively. And this allows for a base zone here between a range. So now we have this range of $34 and $29 here. The reason as to why I was so bullish, and I'm still am on this name, is because the next stage after the accumulation is going to be the markup phase, like that, right? Generally characterized by higher highs and higher lows, right? But to keep it simple, we'll just initiate this structure. So stage three is going to be the overall markup phase, and that is where you really want to be long. That is where most of the gains on the long side are made during that overall markup phase, because buyers have full control. Sellers are not looking to short this name, as they're pretty much going against the bigger trend, right? So after this, we obviously do have that stage four, which is going to be the distribution phase. So we'll put that as distribution, just like so. And that is when after seeing such an extensive move higher, we start to distribute. Sellers come in more aggressive, and then we initiate a downward move, right, by breaking key areas of support, exactly kind of like this, right? This support break there. But this is why I'm so bullish on SMCI. And furthermore, we can analyze the overall options market to get a better idea, particularly the put to call ratio. Now, looking closely here at the put to call ratio, we see that the nearest expiration dates here going from the 20th of February all the way towards pretty much the 27th of March, we see the call volume being higher than the put volume. What this shows to us is that there's more buyer interest, a lot of bullishness being priced into the stock currently, and the short sellers are not really in control here. But all the way towards that exact date that we said, the put volume is higher than the call volume. So you may find some short-term resistance in March here towards expiration date of March 27th, but that's still a month away, which, leaves a lot of upside currently for current traders, right? So I wouldn't be too surprised that obviously during this day we find some short-term resistance, and then we find more bullishness being priced in towards here an expiration date of, June 18th, where the call volume is 42 and the put volume is 94, right? So there's more, buyer interest here. Looking forward toward the dates here. And the same thing, if we look at this pattern, the same in March, and then again we might find some maybe short-term bearishness here in July around the 17th here, the expiration, obviously put volume being higher than the call volume. But if you look at the overall open interest, there is a lot of contracts, especially on the nearest expiration date, in line here with the overall sentiment, bullish sentiment here of the call volume, pretty much almost, more than double the put volume. So it just gives us more conviction and, gives it that confidence that over the next month, we will be possibly seeing extensive moves here in SMCI supporting our bullish thesis that we showed on the charts. So here's the bottom line. SMCI has a fuel, which is the AI momentum. It has improving technical structure and nearly 18% of the short interest under pressure. If you get a clean break above our resistance levels, the squeeze potential becomes very real. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next update. And if you want to catch setups like this before they move, check out our Trend Algorithm Pro, fully complete and accessible through our Patreon membership. Apart from that, don't let the markets whip you guys out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.